Derek and Alice's love story is a poignant tale that captures the essence of a whirlwind romance, filled with passion, dreams, and ultimately, heartbreak. Their connection blossomed unexpectedly, igniting a spark that drew them together in a world that seemed to conspire against them. As they navigated the highs and lows of their relationship, they discovered not only the beauty of love but also the profound complexities that accompany it. This narrative invites viewers to reflect on the intricacies of love and identity, emphasizing that relationships are rarely straightforward. The intensity of Derek and Alice's bond serves as a reminder that love can be both exhilarating and devastating, often challenging our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. As we delve into their story, we will explore the emotional landscapes they traversed, the choices they made, and the societal pressures that shaped their journey. This exploration is not just about their romance, it's a thought-provoking examination of how love can intertwine with personal identity, revealing the struggles and triumphs that define us. Join us as we unravel the layers of Derek and Alice's tragic love story, encouraging a deeper appreciation for the complexities of human connection and the enduring impact of love on our lives. Derek, a dedicated software engineer, was known for his analytical mind and passion for technology. He spent countless hours coding, often losing himself in the intricacies of his work. However, everything changed when he met Alice, whose captivating personality brought a vibrant energy into his life. Alice was a free spirit, full of creativity and warmth, effortlessly drawing people in with her infectious laughter and adventurous spirit. Their initial connection was electric, as if they had known each other for years. They discovered shared interests in art, music, and a love for exploring new places, which deepened their bond. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, filled with laughter and late-night discussions that stretched into the early hours. Each moment spent together was a delightful adventure, whether they were attending art galleries or simply enjoying a quiet evening under the stars. The joy and excitement of their early relationship were palpable as they reveled in the thrill of new love. Every glance exchanged and every touch felt like magic, igniting a sense of possibility that neither had experienced before. In those early days, Derek and Alice were not just two individuals, they were a perfect blend of intellect and creativity, embarking on a journey that promised to be as exhilarating as it was unpredictable. The proposal between Derek and Alice was nothing short of magical, set against the breathtaking backdrop of a mountaintop during a hiking trip. After a challenging ascent, they reached the summit, where the world seemed to fall away, leaving just the two of them surrounded by nature's beauty. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the landscape, Derek took a deep breath, his heart racing with anticipation. He knelt down, presenting a simple yet stunning ring, and asked Alice to be his partner for life. Overwhelmed with emotion, Alice said yes, and they embraced, their laughter echoing through the mountains, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their love story. Their wedding was a modest yet elegant affair, attended by close family and friends who had supported them throughout their journey. The ceremony was held in a quaint garden, adorned with delicate flowers and soft lighting, creating an intimate atmosphere. As they exchanged vows, their love radiated, filling the air with palpable joy. The blissful moments continued as they shared their first dance, swaying gently to a song that encapsulated their journey together. Surrounded by loved ones, Derek and Alice celebrated not just their union but the beautiful adventure that lay ahead, filled with hope and love. Alice carried a secret that weighed heavily on her heart, a part of her past that shaped her identity and influenced her journey. Before meeting Derek, she had undergone a significant transition, one that involved not only personal growth but also the challenges of embracing her true self. This emotional weight was a constant companion, and while she cherished her relationship with Derek, the fear of revealing her past loomed large. She worried that disclosing her secret might change how he viewed her, potentially jeopardizing the love they had built together. The hesitation she felt was palpable. She wanted to be honest, yet the vulnerability of sharing such a profound aspect of her life filled her with dread. Each day, the burden of her secret grew heavier, creating an invisible barrier between them. As their relationship deepened, Alice grappled with the impending conflict that her revelation could bring. She feared that the truth might shatter the blissful connection they had forged, leading to misunderstandings and heartache. This internal struggle set the stage for a pivotal moment in their relationship where love would be tested against the backdrop of honesty and acceptance. The tension between her desire for transparency and the fear of losing Derek created an emotional storm that threatened to unravel their once idyllic romance. After their wedding, subtle changes began to emerge in Alice's behavior, leaving Derek increasingly concerned. Initially, their life together was filled with joy and laughter, but as weeks passed, he noticed a growing distance between them. Alice, once vibrant and engaging, seemed to retreat into herself, often lost in thought or preoccupied with something he couldn't quite grasp. Her mood swings became more pronounced, oscillating between moments of warmth and sudden bouts of withdrawal, creating an unsettling atmosphere in their home. Derek felt a tension building in what it seemed like a perfect marriage, as the love that once flowed freely now felt strained and uncertain. He found himself questioning what had changed, grappling with the fear that something was amiss. Was it the pressures of married life, or was there something deeper at play? Derek's internal struggle intensified as he wrestled with his suspicions, torn between wanting to support Alice and the nagging feeling that she was hiding something from him. Each day, he felt the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air, creating a chasm that threatened to grow wider. The blissful beginning of their marriage was overshadowed by an unsettling sense of unease, leaving Derek desperate for clarity and connection in a relationship that once felt so secure. The moment Derek stumbled upon Alice's emails, his world shattered in an instant. He had been searching for answers, hoping to understand the distance that had grown between them. As he read through the messages, a wave of emotional turmoil washed over him. Each word felt like a dagger, revealing a side of Alice he had never known. The shock of her past, the truth she had kept hidden, struck him like a thunderbolt, leaving him reeling. He felt an overwhelming sense of betrayal. The woman he loved had concealed such a significant part of her life, and he couldn't comprehend why. The emails detailed her struggles, her fears, and the journey she had taken to become who she was, but instead of bringing clarity, they deepened his confusion and hurt. Derek's heart raced as he grappled with a whirlwind of emotions, anger, sadness, and a profound sense of loss. How could she have kept this from him? The revelation set the stage for an inevitable confrontation, one that would force them to face the truth head-on. Derek knew he had to confront Alice, but the thought of their impending discussion filled him with dread. The love they had built now hung in the balance, teetering on the edge of uncertainty as he prepared to confront the woman he thought he knew. The confrontation between Derek and Alice erupted with raw emotions, each word charged with the weight of unspoken feelings. Derek stood in the living room, his heart pounding as he faced Alice, who looked both vulnerable and defiant. "How could you hide this from me?" he demanded, his voice trembling with a mix of anger and hurt. Alice's eyes filled with tears as she tried to explain, her voice breaking. "I was scared, Derek. I didn't want you to see me differently. I love you, and I thought I could protect what we have." Her attempts to articulate her fears only seemed to intensify Derek's turmoil. He felt torn between the love he had for her and the sense of betrayal that gnawed at his heart. "Protect me? Or protect yourself," he shot back, frustration boiling over. The tension in the room was palpable, each accusation and defense echoing off the walls. Alice pleaded for understanding, trying to convey the depth of her love and the reasons behind her secrecy, but Derek struggled to reconcile those feelings with the pain of feeling deceived. "I thought we were building a life together, but now I feel like I don't even know you," he said, his voice heavy with disappointment. The argument spiraled, leaving both of them emotionally drained, standing on opposite sides of a chasm that had suddenly opened between them, unsure if they could bridge the gap or if their love could withstand the storm. The confrontation left Derek in a state of emotional turmoil, and after a long, agonizing silence, he made the heart-wrenching decision to leave. As he packed a few belongings, a sense of despair washed over him. The love he once felt for Alice now felt tainted by betrayal, and the weight of their shattered trust pressed heavily on his chest. Each item he placed in his bag felt like a piece of their shared life slipping away, leaving him feeling hollow and lost. Meanwhile, Alice was devastated, her heart breaking as she watched Derek walk away. She felt an overwhelming sense of regret and guilt, realizing that her attempts to protect him had only driven them apart. Desperate to reach out, she called after him, her voice trembling with emotion, but he didn't turn back. In the days that followed, Alice sent messages and tried to explain herself, pouring her heart out in hopes of rekindling the connection they once shared. Yet, each unanswered call deepened her sense of isolation and despair. The tragic events that followed were marked by a profound sense of loss, as both Derek and Alice grappled with the consequences of their confrontation. Their love story, once filled with promise, now hung in the balance, overshadowed by the painful reality of their choices and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. The events leading to Alice's tragic death unfolded in a whirlwind of emotions and escalating tensions. After days of silence, Derek returned to confront Alice once more, fueled by a mix of unresolved anger and lingering love. The argument reignited with a ferocity that neither had anticipated, voices raised and accusations flying. In a moment of heated passion, the confrontation spiraled out of control, and what began as a verbal clash turned physical. Derek, overwhelmed by a surge of emotions, pushed Alice away in frustration, and she stumbled, hitting her head against the edge of the table. Time seemed to freeze as Derek's heart sank, shock washing over him as he rushed to her side. Panic gripped him as he realized the severity of the situation. Alice lay motionless, her eyes closed, and he felt a wave of dread wash over him. In those harrowing moments, he called for help, his voice trembling with fear. The immediate aftermath was a blur of sirens and frantic attempts to revive her, but it was too late. The discovery of Alice's lifeless body left Derek shattered, his world collapsing around him. The weight of guilt and disbelief consumed him as he grappled with the reality of what had just transpired, forever altering the course of his life and leaving him haunted by the tragic consequences of their confrontation. In the wake of Alice's tragic death, a police investigation was swiftly launched, and Derek found himself thrust into a nightmare as the prime suspect. The initial shock of losing Alice quickly morphed into a suffocating reality as detectives began to piece together the events leading up to her death. Witnesses reported the heated argument between them, and the police scrutinized Derek's every move, searching for evidence that could implicate him. The situation escalated when they discovered a broken vase near the scene, along with traces of Alice's blood on Derek's shirt, which he had worn during their confrontation. This evidence, combined with the testimonies of neighbors who had heard their argument, painted a troubling picture that cast doubt on Derek's innocence. As the investigation unfolded, the media became captivated by the case, sensationalizing the story and portraying Derek as a troubled husband caught in a web of jealousy and rage. Headlines blared, and reporters camped outside his home, eager for any new developments. The public's fascination only intensified the scrutiny on Derek, who felt increasingly isolated and desperate. The pressure mounted as he struggled to maintain his innocence amidst the swirling chaos, knowing that every detail of his life was now under a microscope, and the love story that once defined him had turned into a tragic tale of suspicion and heartbreak. The trial following Alice's death became a harrowing spectacle, drawing attention from the community and beyond. The prosecution painted a damning picture of Derek, arguing that his volatile emotions had culminated in a tragic act of violence. They presented evidence from the night of the confrontation, including witness testimonies that described the heated argument and the broken vase, suggesting a pattern of aggression. In stark contrast, the defense sought to humanize Derek, emphasizing his love for Alice and the shock of the incident. They argued that it was an accident, a moment of panic that spiraled out of control, and highlighted his deep remorse. Emotional testimonies from both families added layers of complexity to the proceedings. Alice's family spoke of their beloved daughter, sharing memories that underscored her vibrant spirit and the devastating loss they felt. Derek's family, meanwhile, expressed their unwavering belief in his innocence, detailing the profound impact the trial had on their lives. The courtroom was often filled with tears, as both families grappled with their grief and the harsh reality of the situation. Public reaction was intense, with many taking sides, fueling debates on social media and in the press. The unfolding tragedy captivated the community, leaving a lasting imprint on both families as they navigated the emotional turmoil of a trial that would forever alter their lives. The outcome of the trial sent shockwaves through the courtroom as the jury delivered their decision. After days of deliberation, they found Derek guilty of involuntary manslaughter, a verdict that left him reeling. The judge sentenced him to several years in prison, a punishment that felt both just and unjust to those present. For Alice's family, there was a bittersweet sense of justice. They believed Derek's actions had led to their daughter's untimely death, and the verdict provided some closure. Yet, the weight of their loss remained heavy, knowing that no amount of punishment could bring Alice back. Derek's family, on the other hand, was devastated, grappling with the reality that their loved one would be incarcerated for a tragic accident. They felt the sting of injustice, believing that Derek had not intended to harm Alice and that the circumstances had spiraled beyond his control. The long-term consequences of this tragedy rippled through both families, forever altering their dynamics and futures. Alice's family struggled to find solace in their grief, while Derek's family faced the stigma of his conviction. The emotional scars ran deep, as both families were left to navigate a world forever changed by a moment of violence. The tragedy served as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the complexities of love, leaving an indelible mark on everyone involved. During his time in prison, Derek found himself engulfed in a sea of reflection, grappling with the tumult of emotions that had led to the tragic events. Each day was a struggle as he attempted to understand the depth of his feelings, anger, regret, and profound sorrow. The isolation of prison life forced him to confront the reality of his actions and the irreversible consequences they had wrought. He often replayed the fateful night in his mind, searching for answers and wishing he could turn back time. Counseling sessions became a lifeline for Derek, providing him with a safe space to explore his emotions and the underlying issues that had contributed to his outburst. Through these sessions, he began to gain insight into his behavior, learning to differentiate between his feelings of love for Alice and the anger that had clouded his judgment. Despite the walls that confined him, Derek's love for Alice remained a constant presence in his heart, a bittersweet reminder of what he had lost. The weight of his guilt was suffocating. He felt responsible for her death and struggled with the knowledge that he would never have the chance to make amends. As he navigated the complexities of his emotions, Derek realized that healing would be a long and arduous journey, one that would forever be intertwined with the memory of Alice and the love they once shared. In the wake of Alice's tragic death, her family faced the daunting task of coping with their profound loss. Overwhelmed by grief, they sought a way to honor her memory and ensure that her legacy lived on. This led to the establishment of the Alice Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting the LGBTQ+ community, a cause that had been close to Alice's heart. The foundation aimed to provide resources, scholarships, and advocacy for individuals navigating similar struggles, fostering a sense of belonging and acceptance. Through fundraising events and community outreach, Alice's family worked tirelessly to create a safe space for those who felt marginalized, channeling their pain into a mission of love and support. Sharing Alice's story became a crucial part of their healing process. They spoke openly about her vibrant spirit, her passions, and the challenges she faced. By doing so, they not only kept her memory alive, but also raised awareness about the issues affecting the LGBTQ+ community. Each time they shared her story, they felt a sense of connection to her, as if she were still with them, guiding their efforts. The foundation became a beacon of hope, transforming their grief into action and ensuring that Alice's legacy would continue to inspire and uplift others, fostering a community built on love, acceptance, and resilience. Derek and Alice's story serves as a poignant reminder of the critical importance of honesty and communication in relationships. Their whirlwind romance, filled with passion and connection, ultimately unraveled due to the secrets that festered beneath the surface. This narrative encourages viewers to reflect on the consequences of withholding truths, as the emotional weight of secrets can lead to misunderstandings and, in some cases, devastating outcomes. The tragic events that unfolded highlight how vital it is to foster open dialogue with loved ones, ensuring that both partners feel safe to share their vulnerabilities. As we conclude this exploration of their journey, we invite you to consider the lessons learned from Derek and Alice's experiences. Their story is not just about love and loss, it's a call to action for all of us to prioritize transparency and empathy in our relationships. If you found this video impactful, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share it with others. By spreading their story, we can raise awareness about the complexities of love, identity, and the importance of communication. Together, we can create a community that values honesty and understanding, ensuring that no one feels alone in their struggles. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to sharing more meaningful content with you in the future.